Welcome, my friends, to this very quick introduction to the world of music. There's C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B flat, B, C. These notes could be called, for example, this is C sharp or D flat. This is D sharp or E flat, depending on how you're naming it relative to which note. This is F sharp, also called G flat. This is G sharp, also called A flat. This is A sharp, also called B flat. And this is just like in the alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, there are 12 notes. So if you watched Sound of Music as a kid growing up, you remember that song, right? Do a deer, a female deer. Well, there's 12 possible combinations of that. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But there's a method behind the madness. There's a simple formula that says do plus 1 plus 1 plus half plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus half. And that's how you get, if you apply that to C sharp, you get, apply that to D, apply that to E flat, apply that to E, apply it to F, apply it to F sharp, apply it to G, apply it to G sharp, apply it to A, apply it to B flat, apply it to B. So as you can see, even the best of us, if we are not practicing relentlessly on those keys, you could go off. The best thing to do is to practice relentlessly so you've got all of them down pat. So when you're playing on any key, let's say you're playing Mary Had a Little Lamb, as simple as it is, you'll be amazed that some people who are very good at playing may not be able to play Mary Had a Little Lamb on all the keys. So, for example, take it to F sharp. Take it to A. You should be able to play on all the keys. So if you're just starting out, go to my Fearless Piano series where I show you the do plus 1 plus 1 plus half plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus half. I know it's very laborious. I know it's very in-depth when you really get into all the 12 because your fingers have to get used to those keys to be able to play on the most difficult keys. So like C sharp, it's got a bunch of black notes and people get scared of those, but it's not that hard. You just need to identify the two white notes in C sharp, which are F and C. See? Just play all the black notes, play F and C as you go along. See that? F, C. It's easy. So as opposed to being scared of the black notes, there's a method to the madness, okay? If you are just starting out, that is step 1. Know all your major scales, all 12, just as I went through them with you just now. Take it up a notch. Be able to at least point them out with your left hand because your left hand is going to accompany your right hand. You could even do something as simple as just trying to play the notes to make sure you know the notes, even if your fingering is off. Just make sure you know which notes are in which scale. Spend time doing that. And then when you get into the fingering in the Fearless Piano series, I show you how you should cross over and under when you are playing these. If you're on the black keys, we generally do not start off with a thumb, and certain people might have an exception to that, but I generally avoid starting off a scale. If I'm going to do a run with a black note, starting with a black note, I try to use this or this, finger 2 or 3. I try to avoid using this or anything else. And it's the same for all the other keys. Now for the key of E flat, if I'm running up to E flat, I could do this, but once I'm on E flat, I'm gonna cross over like that. See? And it works for me, even though I'm ending on a very strange finger number. You would have thought I should end on something else. But depending on the key you're on, various fingering approaches will work. So my advice to you, my friends, take it nice and slow. Spend some weeks learning the right notes. You know, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for you to develop it, but spend some time doing it as expediently as you can, and you'll get to a point where it begins to make more sense, and then you can go into other things like chords. Like that, see? But let's get this fingering stuff done first. When you are able to play all the 12 major scales, it takes practice and staying on it. As you can see, little hiccups here and there show even I need to spend some more time on this. The more time you spend, the better you're going to get. All right? I wish you all the best in your journey. I'll see you in another episode soon. Just spend time with this, and as you master it, you can then move into playing chords, which are more than one note together. And we have 12 chords. Major chords, that is. And again, you got to learn all these. They're also in Fearless Piano. Now, if I was going to play a very simple song using these three chords, C, F, and G. An example would be Lean on Me, like this. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pains, we all have sorrows, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. So that is how you could accompany someone if you're just starting out, playing three chords. And the more you practice, the quicker you get. And you could go beyond that to sometimes in our lives, we all have pains, we all have sorrows, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Call me, call me, call me. And to get there could be a very short journey, depending on how much effort you put in, how much listening you're doing, and how much practice, because practice makes perfect. You got to daily practice. And, you know, it's not so much about the practicing, it's the consistency of practice. So I remember when I was learning, I was practicing every single weekend for at least 3 to 4 hours. And it got to the point where I needed a keyboard. So I asked if I could take the keyboard, because I learned in church and I was allowed to take the keyboard home. Keyboard was just about this big, you know, it was 4 octaves, but it was a rather wide keyboard. It was a Casio. I took the keyboard home and I got better and better and better and better. And honestly, I didn't have a keyboard, a personal keyboard, for the first 13 years of me playing the keyboard. It was just, it's kind of expensive. I had a piano at home where we lived. Our landlord had a piano. So around 4 or 5 years in, I was fortunate to have a piano that I practiced with. And then when I was in college, the church I was at, they had a piano, and sometimes I'll just stay there all night practicing the keys. And that's what we have to do as musicians. You have to practice, you have to put in the time, put in the effort, put in the energy, and you will get there. But it is not without practice. Practice makes perfect. All right, I hope this gave you some direction. If you're looking for lessons, like I said, the Fearless Piano is a good place to start. If you want in-person lessons, I want to recommend checking out your local guitar center. If you're in the US, if you're in the UK, check out places like PMT Rumford, which is not too far from London. Check out PMT and see if they've got any lessons that you can take to help you better learn. Because when you boil it down, you are going to be playing scales, melodies. You're going to be playing scales and chords. That's what you're going to be playing. Scales and chords. The best keyboardists are those that have a very good command of the chords and the scales and the coordination of both hands. This hand also needs its own share of work to play scales as well. And, depending on the situation you're in, you might actually find this hand playing a bass, like a walking bass. So the coordination is important. And I didn't get there overnight, like the walking bass. It took some time to be able to freely play a walking bass without a care in the world. I can play a walking bass to anything, anytime. But it takes time to be able to get that level of dexterity. All right? You got any questions for me, my friends? Keep asking them. Thanks for joining me. I wish you all the best in your journey. I'll see you next time.